Welcome back. In the previous step, we were able to take data from the component view logic, the component TypeScript code, and show it in the view in the template. We were able to show in 28 minutes. So when we refresh the page, you'd see in 28 minutes as the username. But what we saw is when I typed in 28 minutes extended or changed and click login, I was still seeing in 28 minutes printed in the console. I was not able to get the value from the form element and tie it back to the business logic. How do I do that? That's what we will be focusing on in this specific step. Until now, we looked at two kinds of data binding. The first one was interpolation. The second one was event binding. What we want to do now is talk about the third kind, which is a mix of both of this. This is called banana in a box approach. So the syntax for this would look something like this, and that's the reason why it's called banana in a box. So think of it like you're putting a banana within a box. That's basically the syntax. And there is a specific Angular feature we need to use to enable this. This is called ngModel. So what we are doing is we are trying to tie this field to a modal element. And where is that modal element present? In username. What we need to say is ngModel is equal to username. Now, I'm removing the value because we don't really need this anymore, because the ngModel would do binding on both the sides. It would take data from the login component and tie it down to the template, and when data is changing on the template, it would automatically update the value inside the component. Let's save this and let's go to the browser. Oops, there is a compilation error. So it says cannot bind ngModel because it's not really a known property of input. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to make use of a feature called ngModel. Think of it like a class. So this is a class from another module. I'm trying to make use of it in here. Which module does login component belong to? The login component, where is it declared? It's declared inside the app module. So the login component belongs to the app module. Now this module, I would want to make use of a feature called ngModel. What I would need to do is I would need to import that module into the app module. I would need to tell app module wants to make use of a specific module. How can I do that? The way I can do that is by importing the forms module. So the ngModel is defined as part of something called forms module. So you need to import forms module in. When I'm doing a control space to import it, I'm not seeing the suggestion. So what I'll do is I'll manually add the import in. So I'll copy this one. So I'll say import forms module, and it's defined in a module called Angular /forms. So once you do this import, now you'd go to the browser and wait for it to refresh. You'd see that now in 28 minutes password, the screen is shown, and when I click login, it would print in 28 minutes, right? When I change the data and print login, aha, interesting, we see the changed data. So what is happening now is this data is now having something called two-directional binding. This is also called two-way data binding. We are able to take the data from the view logic of the login component and tie it down to a template, to a HTML. So we were able to show the default value as in 28 minutes. Where is this in 28 minutes coming from? It's coming from the view logic, from the component. And when we change it and click login, what is happening? This data is getting printed. Where is it getting printed from? It's getting printed from username. And how did it get to the username? How was the username element updated with the latest value? It's because of this feature called two-way data binding. I'll recommend you to implement the two-way data binding for password as an exercise. I'll see you in the next step.